Hello, and welcome to the Real Ram Fam. On my channel, I intend to provide you with a safe platform to discuss the intersections of your entire being, to be able to be comfortable in your own skin, in mission or position. There is no one like you, and we all have a purpose and message. I, for one, am a black woman, mother of four, a military veteran, and a wife, and a social worker, just to name a few. From my channel, I hope that you learn more about military families and social workers. Three of the social work values are my aim in each video: importance of human relationships, dignity and worth of the person, and social justice. No matter what you initially think when you hear social worker, there is more to the profession. Trust me. Stay locked in by subscribing to the channel and be sure that you hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any new uploads. Without further ado, on to today's episode. What's going on, Ram Fam? It's been a minute. Sorry for the delay, but I got a special series that I'm just starting, and this is to honor all veterans that I know. And so today, my first guest is this lovely lady named Rashida. I was stationed with her before in North Carolina. And we're going to get off and get this thing started so that we're not before you too long and I don't have her up. So Rashida, all my guests have standard questions that they must begin with. First of all, how are you doing?
I am doing good. It's Sunday. It's usually supposed to be my chill day, but it's been kind of busy. But I'm blessed.
Okay. And so what would you consider to be home for you? Where do you originate from?
I'm a military brat. So my dad was in the military. We, of course, like any other military brat, we moved around a lot. But I spent the majority of my adult life in Virginia. So, and my parents are in Maryland now. So I just call this area home now.
Okay. I need you to pick one. It might become important when we break out my new icebreaker. So we can say the whole DMV.
That's a blessing to being a military kid. I call Arizona home. Spent a lot of my childhood there. Spent a lot of my adulthood in Virginia.
Okay. So we're gonna say Virginia, not the DMV. We're gonna say Virginia. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what is your birth order? Where do you fall? Do you have siblings? What's your birth order?
Oh, I'm the last. I'm the baby girl, the youngest. So
all right. And typically I showed this little chart that shows characteristic traits and personality, but due to our timing, I'm not gonna pull it up. But have you heard how they typically describe the last born child?
we're the spoiled ones. I don't know. That's a good question.
Okay. So you're gonna make me pull it up. But yeah, that's a start. And the question would be, do you think that it describes you? Do you fit their personality traits? Yeah. So I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna pull it up for our conversation.
Okay.
Window. It's gonna be a little ragged, but you see it. So the last born, uncomplicated, manipulative, seeks attention, self-centered, fun, charming, outgoing. Would you say that describes you?
I mean, I'm not manipulative, you know.
No.
That's kind of crazy. And manipulators, like that's like, yeah.
Not you.
No, I do like spoiled. I'm not big on like having a whole bunch of attention on me, but I am social. I'm fun. I don't know if I've ever been called charming. Usually men get called charming.
Okay. Look, it ain't for everybody.
Right. What would the feminine charming be? I don't know.
Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, you would go ahead, introduce how you know what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start with question number one.
Okay.
What is or was, because I'm gonna let you let the people know what is or was your branch of service and your job.
Oh, Air Force. Air Force all day. I was supply. Soup, soup.
Supply. Okay. How long did you serve?
Oh, 20 and done. Exactly
20.
20 and a half years. And I was done. Yeah.
Okay. So did you retire or did you separate?
I retired, you know. The plan was to go longer than that, but the path God lined it up for me. I had to get out at a certain time, and it was a sudden decision, and actually ended up being a blessing in the end. So,
Okay. So you hinted at it a little bit. So like most of us, we have military in our family. So you
right.
said it was your dad. Do you have anyone else that
Oh
served
yeah.
military?
Yep. My oldest brother was military. My uncles on both sides of the family. Um, Couple of aunts married into it. Grandfather, both grandfathers actually. So yeah, a long line.
What branches?
All of them except Marines and Coast Guard. So yeah,
Okay, nice.
I think we're probably the only Air Force. When I think about it, me and my brother, my
Really?
dad. Yeah,
Okay. So
yeah.
what made you decide to join?
Mainly because I didn't want any college loans. I didn't want to be in debt. I was already familiar with it, because my dad was in it,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I didn't want to struggle through college, and I still didn't know what I wanted to do. You know,
Yeah.
so
And so was Air Force your first choice?
oh yeah, probably the only one. I don't think my feeling would have let me do anything, anything else. So, and if I
Okay.
keep looking down, I'm looking at my phone because I'm tracking my daughter. So she's getting a ride home. I just want to make sure she.
It's all good. It's all good. You peeking in. It's good.
Uh-huh.
Um, so walk us through the night before and the day that you left for basic training.
Oh, you want me to go way back and think way back?
Yes, this is about the veteran and letting people know what it's like.
You know what? My birthday is November 14th. I joined on November 13th.
Mm-hmm.
So my main thing was just remembering not to tell nobody it was my birthday. Bring no attention to myself. And I remember the night before at MEPS and spending the night in the hotel and just minding my own business and not trying to get in trouble. And everybody else was just in Baltimore having the time of their lives. I think I was the only one in my hotel room,
Mm-hmm.
just ready to go to sleep and get on the plane.
So there was no family there or nothing like that.
I mean, we did our celebrations already. We celebrated my birthday. We did all kinds of stuff. It was just ready. I was ready to go get it over with. They dropped me off, went to my room and minded my business. Like I said,
So how old were you?
17. I was gonna be 18 the next day. Uh-huh.
Ah, okay, okay. You just ready to get out there and start that life.
I was ready to get it done, over with. I think I was just zoned out by then.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you didn't want no student loans, and then you decided to go to the military because you knew all about it already. Okay.
I
Air
mean, I
Force.
thought I did. It's a different world,
Okay.
the one in it.
And so what supply was the job that you chose?
No.
Okay. Okay. So now comes the part you got your 15 minutes. Just tell us about your career. Tell whatever it is that you want the people to know.
For 15 minutes, okay. So yeah, I joined. I thought I was gonna go like and be personnel because when my recruiter described it to me, I was like, oh yeah, perfect, whatever. And then I would go and I would cross train to be in medical because back then I wanted to be a nurse and everything like that. So that was the plan. And then I would get my degree in OTS and become an officer. So that was the plan. Um, you try to plan things and it don't really go that way. But no, I joined, I was supply. I was upset. I was like, what is this? What is material management? Like something, a warehouse? Like what? What am I doing? But what people don't know is that logistics and supply chain is actually a really good career field, and I'm glad that it worked out like that. So I spent my whole career doing that. Start off with Pope, of course, with you and a whole bunch of other people. And then I was young, got married young, the whole stereotypical thing. Had my daughter at Pope. And then I had I randomly put in for a special duty working with NATO. So my first PCS assignment was the Virginia Beach or the Norfolk, Virginia. That's why I say I spent most of my adulthood in Virginia. My daughter was like 3 barely, and we left for Virginia. Got to NATO, worked at a really small warehouse on the beach in Virginia Beach, and we just had a ball, running around Virginia Beach with my daughter. I was going through a divorce, and it was fun. It was real fun. I didn't do supply. I did more transportation, import, export of communication equipment for all of NATO. So we were like the hub for that. So I did transportation for that, did hazmat for that. And what else? Yeah, importing and exporting and shipping and speaking with other supply techs in like Luxembourg and Belgium and all these other NATO member countries, and met a lot of veterans or retirees who worked at NATO, who own their own logistics companies. And if I'd have known what I known back then, I would have stayed in touch with them, because a lot of them own their own trucks now and make like a lot of good, because logistics, anyway. And I'm still actually really good friends with a lot of people that I met at NATO. And then from there, I got an assignment to Langley up the road, PCS to Langley. So then I decided to move out to that side of the water, and I lived not too far from Fort Eustis. So I was at Langley for a while, and there I ended up being diagnosed. As soon as I got there, I got like legally divorced, and then immediately I got diagnosed with breast cancer. So at first I was like, no, I want to go overseas. I want to go overseas. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I got Langley. I was upset, but things worked out the way it was supposed to work out, because I ended up getting breast cancer, and I was right here next to family. So thankful for that. And I had a really good supervisor at that time. And then I did that. I was out for like a while fighting breast cancer. I was 29. And then that was like it was a couple of years. That process was a couple of years. So I was at Langley. I was in Virginia total for like almost 10 years, for 10 years at that time. And then I finally got orders again. There's some deployments in between, the usual. My first deployment was like Camp Snoopy, which was Qatar. And then I went to IUD before it was now the current IUD. And then I deployed to Texas and worked as a supply and COIC for combat skills training. And then I had an assignment to Germany. And in Germany, that was fun too. Germany was fun. I deployed again while I was in Germany. A lot of TDYs in between. And that's pretty much. And then I came back to Virginia and retired. Always been a resident of Virginia. So I have a big, huge career full of $80,000. 80,000 like PCSs and assignments, but it worked out the way it was supposed to work out, thankfully. So the main reason why I came back is because I didn't want my daughter to go to 3 different high schools. So she wanted to come back here. She came back. We came back. She finished high school. I did my transition out and been here ever since. Now I'm a real estate agent. Yep. That's it. In a nutshell, that wasn't 15 minutes, but
Hey, people can always make me have follow-up questions. Okay, well, first off, thank you for sharing your story.
You're welcome.
And I'm thankful for your recovery through the breast cancer.
Thank you.
That's quite a battle. And good thing you were with family. So we're gonna start at the top. For those who are not Air Force and those who are not military, who may watch this later, what is personnel? What is that?
Personnel is like human resources, I guess. That's what, like, if they went and got a degree and that was their degree path, what we call in the military our community college of the Air Force associate's degree, it would be like human resources. So they deal with a lot of personnel. I want to say PERSCO. Of course, that's a military acronym. But
of course, the admin like me will be like, don't give personnel that much credit because they are not human resources.
If you had the ability to hire and fire, then yeah. But in the military, we don't do that. So, they deal with a lot of the background of what we have to do as far as rank, getting our rank, getting our promotions, getting our PCSs done, our orders cut, our everything
that's done with the person, like
right?
Yeah, everything that helps you stay straight. That's them. And so
you got the person. So I guess it would be like human relations anyway, in some kind of way,
Sort of. Don't even give them all that.
I'm not a human relations.
Give them all that credit. OTS. What is that? Officer Training School, people. That's what it is. Okay. So read that. What I sent you. You have a special duty to NATO at Norfolk. Right. There are some civilians who may be watching this who still really don't know what that is. So what is NATO?
NATO is the Northern Allied Treaty Organization. Pretty much all the member countries throughout the world. You can't really say the United Nations, but it's just like, I don't know. It's hard to explain. I don't know all the member countries. Mm-hmm. So
NATO is kind of what help us keep the peace, right?
Correct.
Yes. Okay, so at 18 you got married. And you had a child. So
I joined the military at 18. I got married and everything at 20, had a child at 21. Okay. So yeah.
So would you say that was because you got divorced? Would you say that was a little bit too young for you to get married and start a family? Or no, just start there?
That's too young for everybody. But when you're young and in love, you make those decisions, So
was he also military?
Prior Army. Fort Bragg. Yep.
Prior Army.
Airborne medic. Mm-hmm. So we have, we're in a good spot now, but two young people shouldn't be married because we're both immature, So one thing that definitely came of it was that we did get married for all the right reasons. It was for love. The plan was to be together forever. A lot of people were actually shocked when we got divorced, because, we had a good relationship. But honestly, it probably should have been a friendship to begin with, no matter what, you know. So, like I tell my daughter all the time, I mean, she came from love, you know, it just didn't work out.
So since he was in the army, do you think or do you know that military kind of played a part in you guys' divorce? Oh, we got a viewer. Okay.
There's a lot that played in part, you know. So a lot of things I won't discuss. But I mean, being in the military, it didn't distract me because I am like extremely loyal to a fault, I guess, in a way. But I think if he ended up getting out of the military, I think if we would have been middle and had to deal with like the extra like things that come with the military together, it would have been a lot harder, you know. So
Okay. All right. So we ever talk about that? We talked about that. All right. So back to my other question that I had planned. That's a good one. So should I'm gonna save our viewer question. I see you, girl. I'm gonna save her question for a little bit later. Was there a time, and this is specifically dealing with your career, was there a time that you had to overcome adversity?
oh, the military period is all adversity. But no, yeah, when I was I get told a lot that I carry things well. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but you know, coming back from having cancer and then just wanting to have as normal of a life as possible, I didn't really show probably what I should have been showing, you know, when I was struggling. So a lot of people who don't understand that just automatically think that once chemo is over, uh, you're done and you're back and life is back to normal and, you know, things like that. When actually I was still going through chemo when I went back to work, you know, I was still going through radiation when I went back to work. It was my choice. My doctors was like, it's up to you if you want to do it or not. Being in the military, you kind of have that pressure to continue your career, you know. And like I said, I wanted to be normal as possible. But by then, like my whole leadership had changed, and of course, a lot of them don't understand, but a lot of them don't care to ask either, you know. But then also, I didn't communicate either, you know. So it got to a point where I had to actually certain people tell them, you know, would tell me things like, "Oh, if you're in remission, act like it. If you're in recovery, act like it." And I could just been had chemo 2 days ago and feeling the side effects at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And then they're like, "I thought you were done." Like, who said I was done? I have chemo again next Thursday. You know? So it's just like, what are you talking about? So yeah, I almost actually got out the military because of that.
So I wrote down, was there a policy? But you linked it so well to leadership, and I'm thinking the mental health component of that as well. So I'm just gonna say all three and then just let you answer it however.
Okay.
So do you think that there was a policy? And I'm just gonna say poor leadership, but policy, leadership, and lack of mental health understanding that helped or contributed to your situation. So just add on to what you just said.
I think I had the right leadership at the perfect time when I first got diagnosed. Like I said before, like the whole going through it is a long process, you know. So when I first got diagnosed, I wouldn't have been able to be at work. you know, going through the surgeries and the everything that was going on right now. I had the right kind of leadership. Like whenever I would call and like check in, they'd be like, "Don't call me. Like, what are you doing? Go home. Go back to, you know, we're good. We're fine, you know." And I'm thankful for that. You know, if I didn't have that in the beginning, like my recovery wouldn't have been there. And then in just the world of illnesses, period, I think it should immediately, like, the treatment plan should automatically include physical therapy and mental health. Because at that point, I think the cancer was just so aggressive. The only thing the doctors are only concerned about is just getting it out of you and treating it. But there's a lot of trauma associated with it, a lot of lack of understanding from all sides, you know, and really the only people that really know is the people that it affects directly, you know. So there's a lot of people who don't know. I was one of them, you know. I didn't know until I got diagnosed. I'll admit it. So when it comes to like in the military, I know now that you could be sitting directly next to somebody who could be fighting a really bad illness, you know, but they're carrying it well. You know, you don't know how it's affected them fatigue wise or, you know, mental health wise or, you know, so it's one of those things kind of like you automatically assume somebody looks and acts a certain way when they have a crazy health issue going on, really significant health issue going on, you know, like any kind of autoimmune disorder or, you know, whatever, cancer or disease or whatever. We're everywhere. We're all throughout the military. You'd be very surprised. But in my breast cancer support group, a lot of military, a lot, you know. So, yeah, there's a lack of mental health. There's a lack of understanding. There's a lack of support. And it shows because there's a lot of pressure to still perform and do what you got to do, especially when you have certain rank on, you know?
Yeah.
So,
which I was going to circle back to that because we skipped that part. But
yeah.
perfectly aligns with the next question is because you said it a couple of times that you carried it well. You carried it well. So one, yes, being in the military, there's certain expectations that we hold. But being a Black woman, do you think that also played a part in you making that extra effort to carry it well?
Of course, you know. And then not only that, but I'm a mother and a single mother too. You know, you're a Black woman, you're a mom, you're a single mom, you're NCO at the time, you know. I think it's just instilled in us to get up, just being a mom, period, whether we're Black or white or whatever. We get up and we go, you know. But if I didn't get up and go, who was going to do it for me? Yeah. Just saying, you know, I had the support system. I had people that were here, but like people can't be here every single day, you know. So, but the bad part about it was the people that made me want to get out were also Black women.
So speak on that too.
So, you know,
speak on that.
I don't know what it was. I can't speak on it because that's not me. If I can speak on it, that means I can recognize it. I can't.
Okay. I like that. I like that. So let me reword it.
That's real, right? So
what were they doing that made you feel that way?
Like I said, they probably should have asked more questions and just made sure that not to forget that I was still just freshly back from cancer. But I just think a lot of people think that once you say, "Yay, I rang the bell, I finished chemo," cancer is just gone, you're cured. Logically speaking, there's no such thing as a cure for cancer, right? So, like at that time, like my hair was growing back. If I showed up in PT gear, it wasn't, is there something wrong? Why can't you put your uniform on versus me saying, versus, knowing that I can't wear the uniform because I'm going through a crazy side effects where I can't, like, nothing can touch my skin, radiation burns and stuff like that. So that was when I knew I should have been kind of at home. I shouldn't have been at work. So, but then, like I said, when you're surrounded by a lot of I guess civilians and a lot of women and a lot of everything, you just kind of like feel like you need to step up. And then also, like, my troops would call me and be like, "This is what's going on. This is what's going on. Blah, 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 blah. I can't wait for you to be back." So I felt like I needed to be back,
Mm-hmm.
So it's just one of those things. Like, now I know I should have been a little bit more selfish.
Yeah.
I hope that makes sense, but I don't know.
Yeah. And
if don't have any compassion, I'm not the only person that happened with. I know people who've had like miscarriages, and then they're like, "No, you got to come to work." Like, wait a minute, like, you're a mother. You think you would be a little bit more empathetic at least? Or like, I remember one time I was sick. I was like dead sick. And my oncologist was like, "You need to come in now. And we need to hook," like, I still had my power port in. That's where they give you the chemo, right? So they're not going to remove that. That's something that gets implanted into you. They're not going to remove that because they need to quickly, if they need to quickly get access to you to give you a chemo or any kind of fluids, that's what they access. They use that. So at that time I was like dead sick, and I was supposed to be going in to get chemo, but she was like, "You can't get chemo. Your immune system is too jacked up right now. Hurry up, go up there and get you IVs." And she had to prescribe me certain IVs of medication to hurry up and get pumped into me. And I had to, I couldn't get chemo that day. So what I did was, while I'm in the chair, hooked up, fluids, bags over here, bags over there, people running around. It was a crazy environment. At that time I was supposed to get chemo, and I don't know what it was, but they put me on quarters, right? And I was texting my supervisor, letting her know that, "Hey, I'm on quarters," and blah, 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 blah. And I sent her a screenshot of my oncologist, who pretty much is my main doctor, not my PCM, my oncologist, the cancer doctor, put me on quarters. She trumps everything else. Sent that picture to my supervisor at the time, and my supervisor says, "I don't care what your oncologist said. I need to see the quarter slip from the PCM." And I'm like, I don't even go to my PCM anymore at this point. Like, my PCM ain't, like, this is a PCM. Like, my doctor is my oncologist at this point,
Mm-hmm.
And like, so you want me to leave this main hospital, drive 30, 40 minutes to Langley to get a quarter slip because that's what you're telling me? It's just stuff like that. Like, why are you asking me to do this? Like, what's the reason? It's just stuff like that. But then
you can't have nobody else do it because they ain't got your ID. They ain't got no power of attorney. Like,
right. And it should have just been a regular routine day. However, I was, you're going through cancer, your immune system ain't, I'm not even supposed to be around people like that, So, yeah. I was on Portsmouth, the Naval Hospital. Probably not. I don't think you ever been out here, but
no. But I know that there's
like 40,
other
it's like
bases around here.
it's like 30 minutes from Langley, you know? You got to go through a tunnel. You got to go through all kinds of stuff to get there. You know, that's what we call the other side of the water. People that live on Langley don't come to this side of the water if they don't have to, you know, just for that reason. So why would I, sick, drive to the other side of the water because of a quarter slip? And then if I would have went there, she told me to go to the ER of all places. They'd have looked at me like I was crazy.
Yeah.
You know? So it's just like
a situation in.
It's like, what is that? A power? Like, is that power or is that just like straight up ignorance or like what? Like, you know? So maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. So you mentioned the miscarriage, which brought me back to thinking about policy, because if I recall, of course, I never looked this deep in the AFI. Air Force instruction, people, that's the book that tells Air Force what they can and cannot do. I do not recall it mentioning, as far as PT and coming to work, it mentioning anything about miscarriage. With maternity leave.
Maybe now it does, but back then, of course not.
Yeah. So they're gonna expect you to come back to work because you're not sick and you didn't deliver a baby.
But then we did have the right as supervisors to put people on 24-hour sick leave if we wanted to, without having to have the quarters slip. So whether you're at home coughing or you had something serious happen, like, you got the power to do your 24 hours and then move on from there, at least, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. We gonna get out of this. We gonna get out of this one.
I mean, people I put on 24-hour quarters. Like, if you have the team and you lose one person, that shouldn't stop. It shouldn't stop nothing.
No.
You know?
Yeah. So we did not get you to state. What rank did you retire as? You have to say rank and pay grade for those who are not Air Force.
True. Yeah. Master Sergeant E7.
Okay. So, Madame, perfect segue. What is one or a few changes that you think would make the Air Force a little bit more bearable today?
Manning,
okay.
A lot of it. Like, right now, when I retired, Manning was always an issue, you know, and it became a do more with less. And then there was, you know, back then we at least had resources, you know, we had guidance, we had, you know, somebody gave us orders to do what needed to be done. At least they rolled it out with some kind of instructions, you know, but it felt like you was at a place where you just had to, like, you get orders and now you got to just figure it out, you know, with guidance, and then still performed at exceeding the most, you know, still perform, still got the pressures of, you know, now you are competing with each other as well, but then you don't have the manpower, you don't have the manning. You're highly encouraged to do everything. You know what that means, highly encouraged in the military. You know, there was people who were trying their hardest to be competitive and make rank, which means they were not only doing the most at the job, doing the most to take care of the troops, doing the most outside of the job. People who are president of this private organization and then vice president of this private organization, but then treasurer of this private organization, you know, and then still sitting around and not making rank. You know, it's just stuff like that. And then it being, well, this is the reason why you didn't make rank. You got to do more. You're like, wait, what? I already missed Thanksgiving with my family because I was on base with my military family. You know, it became to be complicated for no reason. Make it complicated because of a real reason, like the mission. But I think because of the lack of manpower and because of we getting less and less resources and because deployments are still long when they could probably scale back, it was just starting to become complicated for no reason, you know?
Yeah.
It's
So Mimi says, why do you think people are not signing up for the military now?
Well, first of all, the media, social media and the media, you know. You get on social media nowadays and see all the things that are going viral, you know, things that like they're not supposed to be normal, but from a civilian perspective, when they look at the military, they look at it like it is, they probably think that we're just flying around and marching all over base. But you get the media where they talking about this girl got raped, this guy was murdered, suicide over here, suicide over there. You know, people don't, and people go online and they vent, and the videos go up, go viral, and all you hear is about toxic this and toxic that, and then nowadays the money ain't going as far as it used to, you know. So I think people are, and then you know, just especially as Black people, when it comes to, you know, being in America, and then now, you know, you want to serve. Do you want to serve or you don't want to serve? You know, that's always something I think is stopping people too. And then, of course, there's a lot to deal with, like marriages and relationships as well. You know, they got people who have kids can't join the military because of certain regulations. You know, I just think, you know, that's a broad question, you know, but people are tired. You know, this generation, this new generation Z ain't getting it out the mud like a lot of us were back in the day, you know?
Yeah.
And they don't have the patience like we had, you know? They quitting their regular jobs. They're not going to come into the military and do this, you know?
No. No. Where did pensions go? Mimi, where they went? Where they go?
I'm getting a pension. No. You think I'm a serve without getting a pension? I got my pension. Pensions aren't gone. Maybe in the civilian sector, but I still like, if somebody that's a civilian is struggling, if you do it right and you join the military and you knock out 3 or 4 years and you get the degree, you get the certificates, you get that free training, you got a whole skill set under your belt. And then if you do it right, you get your VA as well. That could change somebody's life in a short amount of time, and medical, you know? So I don't regret it at all. It's not for everybody, but I see a lot of people out here struggling, but they're not willing to sacrifice 3 or 4 years and just join the military and get whatever they need to get.
Yeah. This is financial question. This financial section. I don't know, Mimi. I thought those was 2 different things.
Oh, there's the pension
still there.
Oh, that's what she's saying. Okay, so we have what I retired under, which was the high what's it called?
Higher tenure.
Yeah, right. And then they have what's called now the blended retirement system. So that now is the blended retirement system, because a lot of people weren't getting their pensions. They were separating, and you separate without getting the full 20, you're not going to retire with a pension. So they changed it to the blended retirement system. So now you can actually put in money into what's kind of like a 401k, and then the military will match it. So if something did happen and you had to leave at year 7, at least you're leaving with something, you know? So I guess, is that good or bad? I don't know.
Well, look, let me tell you what I messed it all up. I I didn't roll over anything
That's
until
why
my PA, and I lost it.
they wasn't educating us like that back then. We
I
didn't
mean,
have
and they
social
said
media.
do it. They said do it, but I thought I had time. And
Oh,
they didn't tell you how small of a time it is.
yeah.
I lost
That
all
window.
that $400,000 of my SGLI. I said, ain't this a blimp?
That window is real.
All of it's gone. But yeah, so you mentioned you are a parent, you have a daughter. So how do you think that the military shaped or affected your idea of parenting?
I don't know parenting any other way.
Hmm?
I don't know what being a parent is like in any other way. I had my daughter when I was in the military, and but I know one thing. As she started getting older, and I realized how it was affecting her, like me being deployed and me needing to be here, I felt like I was doing more for the military than I was doing for her.
I can see that.
And it will end up being like that. And right now that's one of the main things that they preach in the military. Make sure that when you retire with your family, because a lot of people retire and having to mend relationships.
Yeah. And that's my next question is, how is your relationship with your daughter?
That's my little broke best friend. That's my baby girl. She 18, she in college. And this is a weird age where we love each other, but then we bumping heads too. But then that's why I'm here. I specifically set it up to where I could be here, because for some reason my instinct was telling me that I was gonna be gone. Hold on 1 second. That I was gonna be gone for prom. I was gonna miss prom. For some reason, my dog really.
Girl, go take care of the dog. I'm gonna be here.
She's fine. My instinct was telling me that I was gonna miss prom. I was gonna miss graduation. That's all around the same time. Her 18th birthday is all around that time. So, like I said, like when I think when I knew I was ready, when I wanted to be home with her on Thanksgiving, and I wanted to be home with only her on Christmas, and I wanted to be home with only her on New Year's Eve. But then I was still cooking and doing things for my troops, and I was still doing things for my troops, and also doing things, and then she still had to wait on the sidelines for me to be done with my troops when I should have been 100% on her, So it just maybe it would have been different if she was a little girl, but she was at that age where she wanted me, she needed me, So 1 second.
And I see you, Mimi. I see your question. It's gonna segue perfectly when I get to these other questions and the closure. So I know I see it, and I ain't forget about you. So I'll be trying to make things go in together, blended in well. So it's there. So today I was supposed to give you guys an Air Force history question, but y'all know me. Y'all know I'll be having technical difficulties, so I did not look up anything. But for the next guest, I will have some history information for you on that day.
My dog had to use the bathroom. She's about to fight me.
Yeah. So, yeah, during my times of being the parent at home alone, my question is though, can a single parent can you really be there? Can you fully be there? You're struggling with the idea of devoting yourself to the job but yet needing to be there for your daughter. Like, when can a single parent ever fully be there?
That's what civilian life too.
Yeah.
Parent life
This
is
is just a parent question. Like,
and I tell everybody, I know we as people are very capable of being single parents, but I wouldn't voluntarily do it because it's not meant for that, you know.
mm-hmm.
So, but it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. I think if we were trying to stay married, that probably would have made things worse, you know. But but yeah, ain't no such thing as being able to be 100% there when you're a single parent. You know, you just do what you can do, wing it, and figure it out. You know.
Yeah. Yep. So we're gonna go to Mimi's next question.
Okay.
And do you think that the VA should be ran by civilians or military personnel?
Military.
And why is that?
Honestly, let me not say that. I think fully capable people who understand the process should be in it. I think they have a Manning issue as well, and they're just pushing. I think they're just pushing papers at this point because they're overwhelmed. And when people are overwhelmed, they're not gonna do what they need to do and put the attention, the detail, and what they need to do, especially with the doctors. You know.
Yeah.
So there's holes everywhere in the VA system because they didn't. I think they're focusing on quantity, not quality. And from what it sounds like, they pushing people through. And if they don't get it, they just were like, well, I guess they'll appeal. You know?
Yeah.
If they don't get it, they can appeal. Let me just push it through so I can be on to the next claim. Let me push it through so I can be on to the next claim. Not 100% realizing that we are dealing with people with PTSD, with serious physical issues that can't just be pushed through, you know, coming from somebody that has trauma. The last thing I want to do is have to start completely over with another therapist when that therapist when you know, or they sign me up with this oncologist. I try to go to this oncologist so I can get my checkups. Come to find out the oncologist is retiring. Like that's kind of stuff that we shouldn't have to deal with.
Yeah.
You know, because and then like just medical stuff is already hard enough as it is, but now you know because you're not paying attention to detail with little things, you're making it a lot complicated for no reason. I think that's the thing. It's complicated for no reason.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so and I'm in a lot of veteran like groups and forums, and I've seen veterans completely have like mental breakdowns because they're not getting the help that they are actually trying to get, you know. And it's bad on the VA because they just pushing paper, you know. They're trying to get through the workload and people just ain't getting quality service. And I think it's the same thing with the military too. With our military doctors, we don't have doctors, you know. So one doctor's serving a whole unit. Like, what kind of quality care are we gonna get? You know?
Yeah.
Let me get my dog 1 second. You know, one doctor serving one whole unit. We got maybe a handful of mental health psychologists and psychiatrists for the whole base, you know?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And yeah, it's just, you know, I just feel bad for everybody as a whole.
Yeah. Okay, so I had a few more questions, but I'm not gonna hold you. So, and because Mimi's question
I like
kind
Mimi.
of goes very well with a few more of these that I had, but I want to ask you, what's a misconception that you think people have about the Air Force and or supply that you would like people to understand?
That we're not working. That we don't work. And that's just for the Air Force and supply as a whole. So just because we're not in the field sleeping in, well, I mean, yeah, I've done that before, but our mission ain't field mission. Our mission ain't to be on nobody's boat. Our mission is to get, I got a phone call, to get the birds in the air,
Mm-hmm.
So whether we're on a forklift or whatever, packing mobility bags and working in the armory in the desert, and the Connex is like 1,000 degrees, and we're doing inventory and getting ammo out, or working in a warehouse or whatever. Like, don't sleep on supply. Like, people are working,
Yeah.
And shoot, on the outside is even better because people need supply. People need supply chain, logistics. That's where it's at, And then when the war pops off, who's one of the first boots on the ground? Logistics.
Indeed.
Who's in the planning? Logistics. Who's in the meetings? Who has to be called? So we're in there directly supporting the sorties and the missions, working sometimes 18-hour days. So been there, done that.
Yeah.
So
do you think that the military prepared you for what it is that you do today?
Oh yeah, I'm in real estate. I'm a real estate agent. It's a very demanding job. I kind of wonder why I chose something just as demanding. I'm retired. I'm supposed to be chilling anyway. But no, like, real estate, not only is it demanding, sometimes it's very long hours. It's very, very, very relationship people oriented. You have to be very organized. You have to, if you miss a deadline, that could be a whole breach of contract or very expensive to your client. It's a lot of what a lot of people think. Of course, like, supply real estate is a quick and easy, get rich quick type thing, but it's some of this we don't get paid for. So you have to have a real, like, genuine interest to be a real estate agent. Because there's days where you just are not going to get paid. It's an entrepreneurship type job. And if you don't hunt, you don't eat. And in the military, that's what they teach you. So, if you're not already burnt out from the military.
So Mimi's question was, how do you feel about most veterans being homeless? So I think a real estate agent could perfectly express
I
feelings.
think that goes also hand in hand with mental health as well.
Mm-hmm.
That goes hand in hand with mental health, especially a lot of people coming back from, back in the day, Desert Storm, being shell shocked, which we now call PTSD. So people cope differently, and now it's getting to the point where people are starting to get more educated about what's out there as far as benefits and grants and getting help, getting into housing and things like that. But we got a long way to go. There should be no homeless veterans. None. But then there should be no homelessness, period. But people served, and people have especially back in the day, especially with Black people, us not being able to get our VA, us not being able to take advantage of our VA loan, and we just losing out on all that leverage, all that equity, all the interest, where they have this huge gap. And we served, our grandparents, that wasn't that long ago, our grandparents served. A lot of us didn't take advantage of our VA loans because we weren't, who was the one lending?
Right.
Racism is still very real out here. Redlining is still very real out here. Steering is still very real out here. Just the other day we had people that went viral where appraisers appraised their homes low, So VA loans are supposed to protect us. A lot of people didn't. And that was one reason why I wanted to join the real estate industries, because when I was younger, if somebody would have told me about real estate and my VA loan, and that I didn't need to be 40 to buy my first home because I need to be established or whatever. Yeah. I was a self-starter back then. Nobody told me to go to school. Nobody told me to volunteer. I did all that on my own. You think I would have bought a house? Yeah. So I joined the military just for that reason. I'm not joining the military. I joined real estate to be able to educate people, to get this information, educate people. My primary customer basis is military, So and it just so happened to be like that. I want to educate people. I want them to get as young as possible, be as young as possible, setting themselves up in real estate, whether it's investing or just owning a property,
Yeah.
And affordable housing, because you get affordable housing with a VA loan,
Yeah. Yeah. That's that info people need. And so I got to do my social work due diligence and let everyone know that the proper term is no longer homeless. It is the unhoused. Okay, so we can't call people homeless anymore. They're unhoused. It's the unhoused population.
It's the same word. It's a synonym.
But you need to use the proper term.
Okay.
It is the unhoused. So, ma'am, anyone looking to join the Air Force or any branch, but anyone looking to join the Air Force, what advice would you have for them?
The same advice my father gave me: play the game. I think that's what got me through a lot. Play the game. I sat back and watched people voluntarily struggle. Did I do everything right? No, I was young and immature. I wasn't the best airman, but like I said, I got in, I got my education. I took advantage of whatever opportunities I knew of. I wish I had known of more. And use your benefits, because the military is going to use you up, use you, wear you out. So go to as many briefings as you can. Get out there. If you get tired of your job, get outside of your job. Get to know people, network. Don't burn bridges ever, period, because you come across some same people later on in life. Go overseas, live it up while you're young. Come back, buy your properties. If you're a gun lover, get your guns. I mean, it's so easy when you're a military and you're a veteran. Get your tax-free benefits. Get everything. We got what's the world of information? We're in the the world of information or whatever. Information around the palm of my hands. If you don't know it, you can just Google it. It wasn't like when we were younger. Google it. Ask. But yeah, invest, get your benefits. And if it's not for you, it ain't for you, get out. But just as long as you're getting out with something,
Yes.
Don't mess up. Yeah, don't mess up to where now you done committed all this time and then you're getting out with nothing because you're messing up. So
Oh yeah, that's a biggie.
yeah.
That's a biggie. Where'd the time go? Okay, so we were supposed to do something before I let you go. We were supposed to do something that we didn't do, and it's never too late. So you calling Virginia home. So we got to do this cultural thing, ma'am. And I'm gonna share this screen with you.
Okay.
What do you call it? That's what it is. All right. You can see this, right?
I'm looking at it.
Okay. First thing.
Water.
yeah.
Is that what we're doing?
It's what do you call it? But then like also how do you say it? And then we gotta hear you say it.
Water. 2.
Huh?
2. Type of hair for
This word, how you say it?
hair. I thought you wanted to be like 2A to 4C or whatever.
No. This word.
You are here.
This one?
Here.
Okay.
I mean, those are what? Shoes, sneakers, running shoes.
All those things? Okay.
Oh, that's a shopping cart. A basket. Wallets. A purse. Oh, that's a purse. What's that? The alley?
Okay. This.
The arch or living room?
And this, yeah, okay. The arch.
Foyer, I guess.
Okay, the foyer. Okay.
A foyer.
Well, I don't know. Whatever.
Okay. What's that? An icy cup? That looks good. I want one. Another icy cup. That's a buttload of stuff. A wife beater.
Okay.
That's probably not good to say no more.
Look. I just want to know. What people call it. What do people call it? Okay. So that is it. And lastly, ma'am. So if we were at your house for breakfast, you serving us some pancakes or waffles?
French toast. That's my
No.
favorite.
No, y'all need to stop doing this. Y'all need to stop doing this. No, that's not an option.
Certain way. Okay, fine. Pancakes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's got to be pancakes. So.
Okay. Look, I really enjoyed you. Thank you for coming on and being the first in my veterans series. Drop your info for the people. How can we get this real estate agent? And I'm also gonna put it in the description box of this episode. But if y'all want to hit it live, get up with Rashida, retired Master Sergeant.
Oh, that's not my thing. My IG.
That's okay. I just hit copy.
No, my answer ain't the dash no more.
You still could have said it verbally though, and left people sitting in the silence.
Oh, I sure did. I need to get better about that. Rashida Mahoney. I'm a real estate agent for the whole 757, even though I'm licensed in Virginia as a whole. I do also work with investors, and I am actually working on my first flip now. And while working on getting my first flip, text me 757-550-0514, or you can just hit me in my DMs. Follow me on Instagram. I'm always posting stuff. Always posting all kinds of information. And then tell your troops, tell your folks, tell them to get this information. I'm not just helping people get into homes and selling homes. Like, I know contractors, I know other agents, I know people, like, we got everybody in our belts. Like, look at this as a tool in your toolkit, you know? So we got you.
Yes, ma'am. All right. Any last things you want to say besides all of that? Hit her up. Any last minute? Okay, so I appreciate you again.
Mimi don't have no more questions?
Nah, I think she good.
All right. Hey, I will say, like, repair your roofs while it's sunny outside, because you never know what's going to hit you, and it's inevitable. So have your support system together, have your people together, know who you need to hit up if you need to hit them up for any reason, and focus on your physical, mental, financial, spiritual health at all times, you know? That's all.
Yes. What is one thing that you are going to do this week for your self-care?
Oh, the gym.
The gym. Okay.
Yeah.
And Mimi says,
Thank you. Thank you, Mimi. Yeah, let me get up and go to the gym in the morning.
All right. And with that, y'all know what time it is.
I hope that you enjoyed today's episode. I would like to thank my guests for joining me, or simply thank you for watching the pre-recorded episode. No matter what your birth order is, how you self-identify, and whether you like pancakes or waffles. If this is the first time you're hearing it today, I want you to know that you are loved. You were put here for a purpose that only you can fulfill. Until next time, take care of yourself. Be sure that you like and share the videos, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notifications bell. This is Real Ram out.